Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. I'm Amanda Pyburn, a member here and your service leader this morning. We gather on the unceded lands of the Muskogee Nation of Florida. We are grateful for the land and those who tended it before us. If you're visiting today, we especially welcome you. You can learn more about us on the back of your order of service or on our website, uufec.com. Announcements are also listed in your order of service, which I did not even pick up, even though I was offered. One announcement about t-shirts. You know, they've been selling UUFEC t-shirts in the back after the service the last few weeks. You have 2 more chances to order one, today and next week. And then that's it. So if you want a t-shirt, look for Stacy in the back after the service today. And we also have one more announcement by Deborah. There she comes.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing this morning? Good, good, good. Those of you that are sitting in the pews, actually, I didn't get this side, so I'm lying on that side. But on this side and in the back, if you're sitting in a pew, there's some envelopes there to help track your cash donations as part of your pledge, because it's come to our attention that some people are just putting money in and they're not getting credit for their pledge. So we used to have envelopes that were wildly printed and everything, and we're going to go back to that eventually. But right now, the UUFEC board wanted you to be able to track, they wanted us to be able to track your cash donations. So if you throw money in the basket, we don't know that you did that. But if you take an envelope, put your name on it, and put how much you put in there, put it in the collection basket today. Yes. So there are some envelopes that are going to be handed out when they take up the collection today. If you want one, you know, just raise your hand or let them know. And they will give you an envelope and a pen, something to write with. Okay? So thank you for that. And hopefully that'll help that situation. Have a good one.
After the service, we have time for refreshments and conversation, followed by our second hour small discussion groups, which are also listed on your order of service. Today we have the Speaker's Circle, which will meet up front, just a chance to talk about today's topic. We'll have TED Talks in the library, and Pagan Pathways, Intro to Slavic Paganism, in the Harmony Room, which is just around to the right. So you're welcome, anybody's welcome to join any one of those, whatever interests you today. And now the prelude prepares us for the service. Olivia is lighting our chalice this morning. we declare that there are many paths to the sacred. We hold fast to the notion that one religion does not hold all the truth for all time, not even Unitarian Universalism. We maintain that a free, open, and respectful dialogue is one of the primary ways our theological perspectives evolve and grow. Most of you probably know about our Unitarian Universalist values. They're printed on the back of your order of service, and we talk about them quite a bit. But you may not know where we get our wisdom from. We try to live out our principles within a living tradition, which means they evolve and are drawn from many diverse sources, such as direct experience, your life, my life, the people around us. We can get wisdom from that. We get wisdom from the words and deeds of prophets of all races and ages throughout the generations. We get wisdom from all of the world's great religions, including but not limited to Jewish and Christian teachings, humanist teachings, which counsel us to the guidance of reason and the results of science, and spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. So don't be surprised. We okay? Don't be surprised if some Sundays you learn about Confucius. Another, the message comes with readings from the Bible or the Quran or another text many hold to be sacred. And yet another Sunday we share wisdom from ancient pagan beliefs. It may come from many sources, and with each we accept what we will, we discard what we will, but we maintain a willingness to listen with an open heart. We're going to have a responsive reading, which is in your gray hymnal, and it's also up here, but if you're way at the back, and you can't see those words clearly, you can always look in your gray hymnal, number 657. It's called It Matters What We Believe. I'll be reading the bold print, and you will be reading the italics. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged.
Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way to wider and deeper sympathies.
Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities.
Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness.
Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies.
Other beliefs are bonds in a world community where sincere differences unify the pattern.
Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction.
Other beliefs are like gateways opening wide vistas for exploration.
Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness.
Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal growth.
Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world.
Other beliefs are vital, like the young sapling, ever-growing with the upward thrust of life.
Our opening hymn is also in your gray hymnal. It's number 389, Gathered Here. We've done it, but not a whole lot. So Cecile is going to play it through first. It's very short for us to just listen. And then we're going to sing it all together once. But then it is a round. You know I like rounds. So then we're going to divide in the middle. And Joshua is going to lead this first group. And then I'm going to lead the second part. And we'll do it 3 times as a round. So once to listen, once for everybody, then 3 times as a round. Okay? Please stand as you're able. Our time for all ages is a little different today. Kids don't need to come up front, but some of the kids are the presenters. So, if you are one of the presenters, would you come on up? Test it? I'm not sure those mics are on. Right? There we go. Are we good? All right, this is called The Mystery. And reader one, start us off.
Once upon a time, a long time ago,
A very, very long time ago. Like before your parents were even born.
there was a mystery. She was a very great mystery.
And nobody understood or appreciated.
Let's pause just a minute. That one's not on. Let's see.
We got a mic over here.
Okay. Because we don't want to miss this.
No, we don't. Hello. Hey, you can hear me now.
They're going to hear you now. All right, let's start again.
Once upon a time, a long time ago,
A very, very long time ago.
like before your parents were born, there was a mystery. She was a very great mystery.
And no one understood or appreciated her.
Mainly because there was no one else around to appreciate or understand much of anything. For a long, long time, nothing happened. The great mystery waited.
And waited.
And waited some more. Until at last she said, I'm bored. And so the mystery set the stars in the heavens. And planets to circles the stars.
And comets to wander and fro.
And it was all very beautiful. But after a couple of billion years of watching, the mystery decided it was still boring. The mystery was lonely. She wanted someone to play with.
So she looked among all the stars and planets.
But some of the stars were too hot. And others were too cold. And some of the planets were too big. And others were too little.
But finally she found the one that was
Just right. The planet was covered with water.
but there were huge chunks of land sticking out.
And even mountains and plains and rivers. Best of all, there were tiny, tiny creatures called protozoa.
That lived and squirmed in the water.
Come play with me, the mystery said.
But the protozoa kept on squirming like they had never heard her.
Which isn't surprising.
Because they didn't have any ears.
After another couple of billion years of watching the stars and planets and comets,
And the squirming protozoa.
the mystery was bored again. Then the mystery got an idea.
She decided to glue some of the protozoa together with stuff called protoplasm.
When they were stuck together, the protozoa began working together.
They formed eyes and feet and mouths and stomachs.
And ears.
So they could see and move and eat and digest.
And hear me. But even if the new creatures could hear the mystery, they didn't pay much attention to her. Instead, they watched each other.
And they moved around and ate and digested each other too.
At least it was more interesting than watching the stars, planets, and the comets. It was more interesting because as the new creatures watched and moved around and ate and digested, They changed.
They grew.
They evolved. And soon there were all kinds of different animals.
In the seas and on the land.
And the mountains and the rivers.
There were cows that said moo.
And sheep that said baa.
And the 3 singing pigs said la la la.
No, that isn't right. Pigs say oink all day and night.
Oh, oink.
Oink. But the idea of singing pigs got the mystery thinking.
Maybe some of the animals could use their mouths for singing or talking as well as eating.
They would make great playmates.
So she waited and watched as the animals continued to evolve.
And sure enough, after another bazillion years, she saw them.
They were really funny looking.
All of their fur was stuck on top of their heads,
And just a few other places on their bodies.
and they walked on just 2 feet.
Instead of all 4 like most of the other creatures.
But best of all, they could talk.
They would be so much fun to play with. The new creatures had problems though.
The new creatures didn't have any fur, so they were cold much of the time.
They didn't have big teeth or sharp claws, so they had trouble getting food to eat.
So the mystery gave them some ideas for making fires and growing crops.
And for a while, everything was great.
The new creatures called themselves humans, which means from the earth.
And for a long time, humans lived in balance with the other creatures.
The mystery enjoyed watching the humans and giving them new ideas.
But she was careful to make sure the humans never saw her or heard her directly.
Because she wouldn't be a mystery anymore. The humans were curious, though, and wanted to know more about the mystery.
Was the mystery at all human like they were?
Was the mystery male, female, or something else entirely?
Did the mystery care about them?
Of course I do. If they prayed hard enough, would the mystery make their crops grow? Perhaps, but only if you take care of the earth.
Or punish their enemies?
I don't think so. Your enemies want me to punish you, but I won't do that either. The humans had lots of other questions too, like,
Where do we come from?
What are we supposed to do with our lives?
Why do people get sick, suffer, and die?
but the mystery was silent about these things. She knew that if she spoke to them, the humans would think she was a god.
A god like they wrote about in their ancient books.
But the mystery was greater than any god and far beyond anything the humans could imagine.
She didn't want to terrify the humans.
And besides, it was more interesting this way. More time passed, and the humans kept evolving.
They gathered themselves together in cities and built roads to connect the cities.
They planted huge fields of crop and built machines to harvest the crops.
And they built other machines for traveling on the roads.
And they took the cows and sheep and pigs and penned them up to use for food.
And they argued a lot about what they were supposed to be doing with their lives. But the mystery kept quiet, hoping they would figure it out for themselves. The humans kept building more cities and roads, more fields, and more machines.
Soon,
The world was filled with humans.
and there was no more room for wild animals.
The cows and sheep and pigs got more and more crowded in their pens.
The humans were running out of room, too.
Some thought there were no more room for mystery either.
When the mystery realized the humans thought they had figured out everything for themselves, she became very sad.
Some of the humans claimed that the mystery was angry, and if everybody didn't do what they said, she would destroy them.
Others said that they didn't need the mystery anymore. They could do fine on their own.
It seemed that the humans were too busy building and arguing to play anymore.
The mystery wanted to say something, but she knew her voice would terrify the humans.
She also believed that they would argue about the meaning of her words.
They couldn't even agree on what "thou shalt not kill" or "love your enemies" meant.
And besides, she knew that simply making the humans do what she wanted would take the fun out of playing.
But maybe there was another way.
The mystery knew that the humans wouldn't listen to her, no matter how loudly or clearly she spoke.
Maybe instead of telling the humans what to do in a loud voice like thunder, she could use a softer voice, like a whisper.
Maybe instead of speaking to their ears, she should speak to their hearts.
Maybe instead of using words, she could use feelings.
And that is exactly what she did.
If you listen very closely, you will hear what the mystery is saying to you.
Don't listen with your ears, listen with your heart.
Think about what you feel when you consider this beautiful planet our home.
Do you feel joy?
Do you feel a sense of wonder?
Do you feel thankful?
Do you feel love?
Each of these feelings is part of the mystery.
Because each of us is a part of a mystery.
When we recognize and act on our feelings of joy, wonder, thanksgiving, and love.
Then the mystery will play with us and through us for a long, long time to come.
Amen.
Shalom.
And blessed to be.
The sharing of joys, milestones, and concerns is a tradition in our fellowship. You're welcome to come up, drop a glass pebble into the bowl of water silently, or while speaking a few words into the microphone. This practice shares our joys and helps us support each other in sorrow. Please tell about others only with their permission. noticed, our perspective is actually in 3 parts today. Part 1 is the bag of beliefs. Some of this may sound familiar to you. Our then RE director, Sarah Searfoss, did this as a time for all ages back last fall. And we got together after the service and said, boy, that is so powerful. We need to expand that and make it into a whole service. So this might be a review, or it might be new to you, before we go on to sharing our own bags. So it begins with a story. In a small Unitarian church, Unitarian Universalist church, there was a young woman named Maya. One Sunday, as her congregation gathered, she brought a simple brown paper bag to the front. Today, she said, I want to share with you something I call the bag of beliefs. And she pulled out a seemingly random bunch of objects from her bag. A tiny Buddha statue, a worn-out Bible, a feather, a small stone from the ocean, a piece of colorful fabric, and a small hand-drawn mandala. Each of these items represents a different belief system, a different path to understanding the world, she explained. The Buddha statue reminds us of the power of mindfulness, the Bible of compassion, the feather of the interconnectedness of life, the stone of grounding, the fabric of diversity, and the mandala of the beauty and complexity. Her congregation listened intently. Maya went on to explain how her bag of beliefs was a metaphor for the richness of faith, not bound by a single dogma, but embracing multiple perspectives. Just like this bag, our faith can hold a variety of beliefs, each adding a unique piece to our understanding, Maya said. We can learn from each other even when our perspectives seem different. Well, I like that idea, that we each have a bag of beliefs. But where do those beliefs come from? Babies are not born as Buddhists or Baptists or anything else, but we quickly start to gather ideas. We pick up beliefs about people and animals and families. We collect ideas about stars and comets and how it all got started. We accumulate beliefs about good and bad, healthy and unhealthy, right and wrong, what's important in life. We get these beliefs from our parents and our playmates, TV and school, and they go into our belief bag. Now, most religions define themselves by what's in their bag. People are expected to hold open their bag and let the clergy just pour it all in. And that's what they're supposed to believe. But Unitarian Universalists are different. We don't have just one set of beliefs, and our belief bags are always changing. Some of our beliefs even seem a little contradictory, but that's okay. And that's not all. What is also different is the way Unitarian Universalists carry our beliefs, because there are different ways of holding your bag. For example, some people hold theirs like this. They clutch it close and make sure the top is tightly sealed. They don't want their beliefs exposed to any new ideas that might confuse what's inside. They've got their world all wrapped up in a nice, tidy package. Some people, though, are just the opposite. They just leave it out there for anything to fall in. Whatever they heard or read on the internet or was on talk radio, it must be true, right? It can go in. And then there are the people who carry their bags like this. And what's inside might sound really nice and sweet, golden rule and all that, but they're ready to whop you over the head with it if you don't believe what they believe. So none of those is the Unitarian Universalist way. Instead, we carry our bags like this, with the top open, so new ideas and perspectives can get in. And sometimes old beliefs need to come out. That's okay. And we carry our bags in front of us so we can carefully examine what's going in and make sure it's going to be something that makes sense to us. And also so we can share those ideas with others. And above all, we never use our bag, our beliefs, to bully others. So that's what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. The next time someone asks you, what do they believe in your church? You can tell them that for Unitarian Universalists, it's less important exactly what you believe than how you hold your beliefs. It's how you acquire them, how you share them, and above all, what you do with them that counts. We're going to pause for a few moments of quiet meditation or prayer. Part 2. Holly Lohmiller is going to explain what's in her bag. And be ready, because pretty soon it's going to be your turn.
Hi. Hi, friends. I'd say it again. Hi, friends. Helps me calm down a little bit when I remind myself, y'all are my friends, right? That's right. So I've been coming around for about 14 months now. And y'all want to know what's in my bag. When I got here, I wasn't really sure. Like, even today, I wasn't really sure. 14 months ago, I wasn't really sure. And I think that's okay to not really be sure. I know there's something in there, but I haven't quite shaken it all out yet. But I know the stuff that's really important to me. And what's your best discovery? Asked the mole. That I am enough as I am, said the boy. That's kind of a hard one for me to believe. Friends, I have a simple wish to find love wherever I go. I don't think you can look for love in a wrong place. I think there's love to be found everywhere my feet go. I think it's really important to phone a friend. And it's really important to phone the great mystery. And she does answer when I call. She, her, they, them. That's me. They, them, the mystery. It always picks up, like, in really sometimes bizarre ways. I'm like, the more weird we look for, the more weird we find, the more shimmers and glimmers. It all gets really good when you just stop taking it all so seriously. Like, I am calamity. I am also sunshine and moonshine and stardust, and so are all of you, and I'm a radiant pig in space. And I don't have it figured out, but I have figured out that I can come here and we can like bump along in our little red wagons together and tell each other tales and stories. Catch a tiger by the tail. Tell me a story. I want to know who you are. Tell me about your humanity. that helps me to keep saying yes to another day. Look for the flowers, look for the wildflowers. Be a wildflower. We are all glimmers and reflections of one another. Sometimes it's hard to look yourself in the eye, and you gotta go find a friend to remind you how beautiful you are. Sometimes you need to make a note to yourself to be awesome today and record just exactly how awesome you were, so the next day you can go back and see you actually made it happen. You really were awesome. You all are really awesome. We all showed up here today. Like, that wasn't an easy thing to do. When the world is screaming, it's easy to stay inside. But I want to be a sapling, and I want to keep growing. And I don't want to grow in isolation. I want to play. I want to play. Alex, I want to play. My daughter made this bracelet for me. It says, "It gets worse." WROSE. So yeah, it does get worse sometimes, but also it gets rose. If I put on my rose-colored glasses, even in the worst of situations and circumstances, I can find something to get happy about. Even if it's just for a split second that I find some joy, just for a second. I have to go fishing for the good stuff. And if I do not taco about it, nobody knows what's going on inside here and how much love I have to share and how much love I have to give and how much love I would like to receive. And we're all in this together. And that's what I believe in. I believe in the power of love and all of the silly song lyrics. And I do believe that our children are the future. And I can go on and on because there's a jukebox in here. But that's the simplest, very simplest way to say it is love. Like, let's just love one another and be kind. Like, let's outshine the hate. That's all. What's in your bag? Oh!
My goodness, I forgot there was a step there, sorry. Well, that one's in my bag. Glad I didn't set the place on fire.
We did.
That was so
There's a
nice.
song about that too. We didn't start the fire.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, but
Awesome, that was fabulous.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you were safe.
I should watch out for steps, sorry. Just to keep you wide awake today. Yes. After our song of dedication, greeters will take up the offering. If you're paying your pledge with a check today, hopefully the camera was over here and that's not recorded. Just thinking that. Make a note in the memo line if it's your pledge today. For the month of March, our Share the Plate partner is Opportunity Place, a safe haven for families and single women facing homelessness. Please be generous. So now is your turn. You each have a bag, a pencil, and some slips of paper. You're going to take a few minutes to think and write a belief of yours on each one. It's okay if you decide to leave some of those blank. It's also okay if you need to squeeze 5 or 6 on the same slip. But take a few minutes to write, and when you hear the chime, we're going to stand up, walk around, and share some of our beliefs. So here's your writing time. I'm sure we could keep thinking all morning, and you probably will keep adding and thinking about it on the way home and all day and all week. But in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and walk around and share what you already have. You might hear something that you need to add to your bag. Feel free. No, be brave. You got to stand up and walk around. We can continue during snack time. We can continue during second hour. But if you'll go back to your seats, or any seat for the moment, let's finish with our final hymn, number 298. It has 5 verses. Wake now my senses. Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Please stay seated for the postlude. Thank you to all of those who participated in today's service, either up front or behind the scenes. If you have your pencil, there is a basket in the back to collect them on your way out. Not a big deal, but helps out a little bit. Thank you all for coming.